Welcome to the Writing in Your Jammies podcast. I'm your host, Jeannie Hall, and I'm pursuing my dreams by helping you make your dreams a reality. I'm an author, blogger, podcaster, and life coach who hopes to inspire you to feel better, live happier, and go after your dreams with a vengeance. You can do it. Join me. Hello, and welcome to the Writing in Your Jammies podcast. This is Jeannie Hall, your host, and this is episode 21, Decisions. When I first discovered the law of attraction through The Secret movie, I was emotionally blown away by it. I believe the information offered in The Secret is really amazing, and I give it a huge amount of credit for starting me off on my own spiritual journey. One thing I didn't realize at the time, though, was that there was one important component of the teaching that was missing. And while The Secret movie and book are full of beautiful imagery, inspirational quotes, and wisdom, the main law of attraction teaching it focused on was the ask, believe, receive part. And these are lovely teachings, and they are true to a point. The problem with this interpretation of the law of attraction is that asking and believing may not be enough to bring happiness and fulfillment into your life, or at least if you don't really believe. Yes, you might manifest something fabulous. You might receive something you've been wanting. Maybe. But getting a car or a house or even a spouse to love isn't going to make you truly and blissfully happy in and of itself. The only way to achieve that is by digging down deeper, by seeking that happiness from within yourself, as I've said before. And if you've been listening to my podcast, you've definitely heard that before. And part of reaching your own happiness is by being brave and bold and going after your dreams. And the main way we're able to do this as human beings is through our decisions, our decision-making process. We all make thousands of decisions every single day, but sometimes those decisions are made on autopilot. And let me tell you what I mean. Here's an example. So we go to lunch during our work day, and we think, oh, there's a fast food joint right across from where I work. I'll just eat there. Or maybe we think, when a car suddenly pulls in front of us, that jerk just cut me off. Let's see how he likes it. Or maybe we think, oh God, I can't wait for my next day off. This job is so boring. Or maybe this job is so unfulfilling. Or maybe this job is so menial. Or maybe this job is so stressful. Or maybe this job is so exhausting. Notice that the decisions that are being made in each of those situations, but they're not maybe the best decisions that we can make for ourselves in the long run. So let's look at the first one. Eating fast food, is that really a good idea? If you're like me and you're likely to turn something like that into a habit, then I can say maybe not. Because there are periods from my past where all I ever ate was fast food. And I ate it because it was easy and it was fast and it tasted good at the time. And I let myself fall into a pattern of being conveniently unaware of my weight, which was going up and up and up. And as the 233-pound version of me, who was told she was a diabetic, would be happy to tell you, that wasn't a good decision. Don't do it. So what about the jerk who cut you off in traffic? Maybe you think in the moment it's going to feel better if I just go after them and shake my fist and flip them off and cut them off too. Maybe you think angrily, turnabout's fair play, damn it, I'm going to do this. Maybe you're not even thinking clearly. But what kind of decision making is that going to really get you? If you make that decision, what's going to be your result? So your result could be anything from the other driver flipping you off, to a cop catching you and giving you a ticket, to even a dangerous or even fatal accident. Why? Sometimes we need to stop and look at our decisions and be aware of them, because we're making them constantly, all the time. But we don't always make conscious decisions all the time. So we have to make ourselves aware in the moment. Is it annoying to be cut off in traffic? Of course. Sure it is. But is it worth losing your sanity or your driver's license or even your life? Of course not. Never. Let's look at the job. So maybe it's a boring, or insert another derogatory adjective in there, whatever you feel about your job if you don't like it. Sure, most people look forward to time off, but even if they really enjoy their jobs, they enjoy time off. Everybody does. But if you find yourself staying with the job that you dislike or even despise, look at your decision-making process there. Why are you staying in a situation you find unfulfilling or stressful? There are no right or wrong answers. This isn't about judgment. This isn't about looking down at you for making the decisions you make. This is about finding out the reason why and just looking at it from just an interested, curious position. Maybe you're doing the job you're in right now that you dislike because you need the extra pay, and it's only for a few weeks or months that you need it, so it's temporary. So the fact that you don't care for your job much doesn't really matter that much. It's not a big deal. Or maybe you feel like there are no other jobs out there, so you're sticking with the one you have. Is it really true that there are no other jobs out there? Have you looked? And if you have looked, what were you thinking about and feeling when you made the decision to go on that job hunt? If you doubted any jobs would open up for you, or feared that you weren't good enough to find the job you actually want, then you'll need to adjust your mindset to change your situation for the better. And as I've mentioned on past podcasts, when I left my teaching position, I was in a terrible frame of mind. I was leaving out of health issues and stress and all these bad situations that had happened to me during my 5 years of teaching, and I just was fed up, and I just said, forget it, I'll do something else. But when I left and I began my job hunt, I assumed that I'd be getting a job very quickly. And when that didn't happen, all those fears and doubts that lurk in the back of our brains came right to the fore and came out like a monster clawing at me. And I would wake up having panic attacks and sweating and crying, and it was crazy. All because our minds are basically built in with these defense mechanisms. And originally they were there because when we were first a species, we were in survival mode. We had to be, because danger was everywhere. We lived in caves, and we dressed in fur, and there were bigger, more deadly predators than us everywhere. And so we could get hurt and die so easily that, sure, that was when our brain was first developed. So it made sense for us to always be fearful and always be protective. That's how we survived as a species to get to this point. But now that there aren't huge mammoths outside our cave door, we don't have that problem. We don't have danger lurking in every corner now. We just don't. We're safe and sound in our houses, most of us. We drive everywhere, so we're not exposed to elements. We've got lots of clothing, heating, air conditioning, healthy food and water, and toiletries and toilets and, facilities that we need. We have healthcare. We have all sorts of pleasurable and comfortable ways to take care of ourselves that we didn't have when our brains were first developed. And so now that brain, though, is still in us, working away, warning us about all these bad, horrible things that are going to happen to us at any time. Look out, beware, be scared, be worried. That worked back then when we needed it, when it was fight or flight all the time. But now, that instinct is still there, and our thought processes and our brains still go there automatically. And that's why we have so many anxieties, and that's why we have so many fears. But now, those fears and anxieties and our worries, now when you wake up in the middle of the night worrying about something goofy at your job, that comes from that primal brain. That has nothing to do with what you actually need to worry about. That job is not a snake in your bed about to bite you. It's just a worry from work. It doesn't even really matter. But it wakes you up in the middle of the night with your heart racing like there is actual danger right there. But there's not. But our bodies and our heart race and our pulse goes crazy and we breathe faster and everything because we still are in that mindset that, oh God, something's wrong, look out, be scared. So until we change that mindset, until we work on calming ourselves and reminding ourselves of the truth that we are safe, we are fine, nobody's going to die if we don't turn a report in or something silly for our job, okay? Unless you're a surgeon or something where you really do, you're an EMT, where your job really does demand life and death, which is very few of us. Even then, if they go home, it's not going to cause a life and death issue. If a doctor goes home sick or something, even then, there's other doctors. So, but our minds tell us, oh God, freak out. And until we override that instinct purposely and say, no, everything is fine. This is not an emergency. Calm the hell down. So until we do that and really kind of focus on that and breathe deep and remind our bodies, no, we are safe. Until you can kind of retrain your brain a little bit, it is difficult to do that. And that will happen. You will have doubts. You will have fear. You will have anxiety and worry that come up. Just be aware that it will, and it always will. But you'll know when it does come up, oh, wait, this isn't real. This is my mind freaking out because it still thinks I'm in a cave somewhere hiding from a mammoth. It's not actually true. I'm not hiding from that tiger or that mammoth or that lion or whatever else it might have been. No, I'm not. I'm perfectly safe in a very comfortable bed. Everything is fine. So yeah, just remind yourself of that and make the decision to think your thoughts thoroughly, basically. Be aware of what your feelings are and short circuit those and go, no, I'm fine. Everything is fine. If the worst thing that happens is that a report is late, nobody's going to die. I'm not going to get fired. Everything's going to be okay. Okay. So again, our decisions, they determine our future in the same way that our actions lead to our results. So if you, like in the first example I mentioned, if you make the decision to eat fast food every single day, you're going to receive a certain result. And the question isn't whether the action or decision is right or wrong. There is no right or wrong, really. The question is whether taking that action will give you the result you want. So this isn't about judgment. Again, this is just about what action is going to lead to what result. What decision can you make is going to give you what you really want? Because you have all the control in that situation. You make all of your decisions. Everything that you think and feel is a choice. It's not thrust upon you. And a lot of us kind of go through our lives thinking, well, that person made me feel this way, or that situation made me feel that way, or they said that and it made me think this and it made me feel that. Okay, they can't make you feel anything. Your thoughts and your feelings are yours and yours alone, and you get to decide what they are. And so sure, something automatically may pop into your brain. You may automatically react a certain way. But you can short circuit that by saying, I am not a cave woman or caveman. I am a human being in 2017 or whatever you're listening to this. Very modern times. Do not need to react like a Neanderthal because I'm not one. I can react like a human being who is intelligent and calm and can make rational decisions. So by short-circuiting that crazy reaction of fight and flight that we have, we can calm ourselves. We can make a better decision, not in that it's better because any decision is actually bad, just that it's not going to give us the result that we want. Flipping that other guy off is not going to give us the result we want if he cuts us off. It's just not. And maybe it won't end up in anything, but maybe he's really pissed off and he's going to have a gun in his cab and he ends up using it. That's a horrible reaction, but it could happen. You never know what the other person's going to do. All you can choose is what you do and what you think and what you feel. That's what you can control. So control that. So you can choose the fast food. You can choose to cut someone off back. You can choose to stay in a job that makes you miserably unhappy. It's your choice. And that's fine. If you choose to do that, that's fine. You can. It's up to you. But doing that action over and over again in the long term could well lead to a result that you could really do without. So look at your life right now. Is there any part of it that you would like to change? If so, you can follow the precepts of the law of attraction to change it. Figure out what you really want and ask for it. Believe with all your heart you can have it. Now here's the trick with that. The whole believing thing. Believing can be really hard. The reason is many of us feel unworthy or undeserving of what we really want. When we really dig down past the surface and we really think about it, a lot of us doubt that we're worthy enough or good enough or deserving of whatever that is that we want. We might point to something we did in the past that we think is wrong. We've judged as wrong. We've judged it as bad. Or we just may think I'm too weak or I'm too whatever. I'm too angry a person to deserve that. I'm too bad of a person to deserve that. I made a mistake one time and it was horrible and I deserve to be punished. Okay, if you believe that, you are making that your future. So stop that train of thought if you want a more positive future and change your thoughts to I do deserve it. I forgive myself. And if it wasn't you who caused the problem, maybe it was somebody else. Maybe somebody did something to you that was horrible. The best thing you can do for yourself is to forgive them because they don't feel your anger and they don't feel the negative, bad emotions that you feel when you don't forgive them. Only you feel that. So the sooner you can forgive them and forgive yourself, the better. And yes, I realize that is not easy, especially if you're dealing with something traumatic. I understand. However, what you think and what you feel is a choice. So you can choose to forgive it. Doesn't mean you ever have to interact with that person ever again. But it does mean you can move on with your life and move into a more positive frame of mind, which is going to make your feelings better, which is going to make everything else better in line. So our decisions and actions come crucially into play with what we think. Again, thinking leads to your feelings, which leads to your actions, which lead to your results. So be aware of that. You can wish for something, and you can wait for it to magically appear at your feet. But that's highly unlikely to happen. It's highly unlikely something like that is going to show up for you. It's not impossible because we're working with a divine universe that is fully supportive at all times. It's not the universe that blocks that, it's us. Most of us are way too skeptical to ever believe such an idea of poof, like a genie, here you are, ta-da! Because if we really believed that we could manifest what we want by doing that, we would have done it and we would already have it. And maybe you've had something that's come to you that easily. If so, really cool. Put it in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. That's actually really awesome. And it is possible if your thought process and your feelings are that pure and that easily, you can easily bring that into being. Most of us, though, have a lot of baggage around stuff like that, a lot of emotional baggage. And so we would block ourselves from ever manifesting that easily, which is too bad because we are capable of it. But we have a lot of emotional and negative thoughts and beliefs that block us from getting things that easily. But we can undo that programming, and that's all it is programming. So here's some decisions and actions that can help you get into that positive space to be where you can manifest what you really want in your life, whatever that is. And one thing you can do is visualize yourself as already having it. If you've seen The Secret movie, you probably saw that part where Mike Dooley was talking about the car. You picture yourself in that car. You close your eyes and your hands on the gear shift and on the steering wheel, and you're revving the engine, and you can feel the car around you, and you can feel yourself whizzing through traffic at super fast speed, and you woohoo, and you feel the full emotion of everything. You go for it. You're in there in your mind, and you're in there in your feelings, and you let your emotions run with it completely. And you let your imagination completely go full throttle with it. That's a great way of getting your mind in the right place. And again, the feelings of having it. So if you feel like you have it, you can picture yourself having it, and you let yourself feel the emotions of what having it would feel like. Maybe if you're in the situation of the job, like the boring job or the stressful job, or you're unhappy in your job, what would be the feeling you would experience if you either no longer had that job or you had the job that you wanted? Picture having the job that you want, and what is the emotion that floods through your system? You control that. You control what emotion floods through your system. So imagine having your absolute dream job where on Monday morning you are hopping out of bed in joy to go to this job. Maybe it's not a job that you go to. Maybe it's a job that you create. Maybe you want to go into business for yourself, or you want to create your own your own business. You want to be an entrepreneur, or maybe you want to create it with somebody else, or go work for somebody that you would really love to work for. It's your dream job. Picture what that would feel like to know that's what I get to do today. I get to do the coolest thing ever. What I love to do is what I do for a living. Feel that emotion, and keep feeling it every day, several times a day. Focus on visualizing yourself in the place where you really want to be, and feel the feelings associated with it. And the next thing you need to do is learning to love yourself. Because until you do that, you're not going to believe you're worthy of it. At least not most of us. Most of us have that worthiness issue. Deep down, we don't think we're worth getting what we really want. And it blocks us over and over again. So you're going to have to learn how to love yourself and start believing you're worthy of it. So, for example, I actually have a coaching meeting with a lady that I have so much respect for and is a mentor of mine. And so I actually scheduled a coaching meeting with her. She's going to coach me. And I'm so excited about this. And I actually hesitated whenever I asked for the appointment. And I've done a lot of work on worthiness and on feeling good about yourself and loving yourself. I've been working on this for a while now. But when I went to ask her, I felt intimidated. I felt like, oh, she didn't have time for me. I shouldn't ask her to do this on this day just because this is the only day off I have this week. That doesn't matter. I shouldn't ask her. That's asking a lot of someone to ask for this day to work with me. And I realized, wow, Jeannie, you still have some unworthiness issues. Yeah, I do. So even those of us who are working on it, guys, it's a process. This is a process. It takes a little while, and it'll come up at weird times when you don't even realize it. You'll think, oh no, I'm good. And then something will come along and it'll put you in a new situation you haven't been in before, and you'll have to face it again. It's like, oh dang, I thought I was over this, but I guess I'm not. So it's a continual process. It's a continual process to continue to build your confidence and believe you're worthy and love yourself and move forward. It's just a continual thing. We're all equal on this planet. We're all equally worthy of love. We're all equally worthy of every good thing. But we put stuff on ourselves sometimes. We doubt ourselves so easily. So don't feel bad if that happens to you. It's going to. It's a process that we all have to work on and we all have to work through. So don't feel bad when that happens to you. It will happen to you. I can almost promise you that you will. You'll come into situations where you're like, oh, I thought I was through. I thought I'd already worked on this. Okay. It's okay. We're all human. And so we all, even though that means that we're made of love and light, we don't always believe that deep down. Even if we intellectually believe it, deep down, we still have our doubts and our fears and our worries. You just got to keep working on it and keep plowing through. And yes, she made the appointment with me, even though I was down. Oh, I shouldn't ask her to work with me on a Sunday. That's tacky. That's everybody's day off. I shouldn't ask. She's probably really busy. This is short notice. I shouldn't even ask. What was the harm in me asking? The worst thing that she could have said is, oh, no, I'm all booked that day. How about another day? How about next week? That's all she had to say. That's all she could have said. She wasn't going to say, no, you suck. I never want to work with you. Why would she say that? She works in this line of business. She would never say that. She's a good, kind person, I know. But my mind said, oh, no, you're asking too much, Jeannie. Oh, you're not worthy enough to ask her to spend her time with you. Why not? Right? So, yeah, don't doubt, if you doubt yourself, continue to work on that because you are worth it. All of us are. And that's part of meditating on that, being quiet with yourself. And when I say be quiet, and this is so important, guys, meditating can be really hard, like the whole sitting silently with yourself for 3 to 5 to 10 minutes. Some people do it. Really good experts do it for an hour. That doesn't mean that their mind is perfectly calm and silent when they meditate. They're fighting thoughts that come into their head all the time, or maybe they're not fighting them because that causes resistance. But even experienced meditators who are really good at it, they have thoughts floating to their head. That's part of it. And you don't judge those thoughts when they come. You just refocus on your breathing. Or you do like I do. I have a lot of issues with doing that silent meditation. I wish I didn't. I wish I could do it better. But I have a lot of issues with that. So I totally understand. My mind goes all over the place every time I try and meditate. But sometimes I'm still pretty successful, but I'm a lot more successful when I do the guided meditation where I hear the voice leading me saying, picture this, do, that kind of stuff. I do a lot better with those personally, and you may be the same way, but still give yourself a chance to do the completely silent ones. Even if your thoughts do go all over the place, just take a deep breath and keep focusing on your breathing and keep doing it, even if it's only for 3 minutes a day. And I got to be more consistent on this myself. I totally get it. I am good at going on my walk every day, and I try and meditate during that. But it can be a challenge. It really can. But give yourself a break. Just do the best that you can with where you are right now, and that's okay. Another thing is, of course, to change your negative thoughts into positive ones. We've talked about this in other podcasts. Another thing you can do, and this feels really good to your mind, is make a plan with lots of really doable baby steps. I'm not saying easy baby steps. I'm just saying doable. I'm not saying they shouldn't challenge you a little bit. I'm not saying they shouldn't put you out of your comfort zone, because they really should. They should push you out of your comfort zone or you're not going to grow. But if they're doable and you can make a plan and it's something small, then you can sit down and make a plan. Today I'm going to do that, and then do it. And once you've done it, you'll feel so much better that you accomplished that goal. Even though it was a little tiny goal, it's still an achievement. It's still an accomplishment. So do that, and then keep doing that. And you'll be amazed at how those little tiny baby steps add up to really big results, really great, fantastic results. And then follow it all the way through. So one thing I've learned is that the mind needs to be engaged actively while you're doing something. It just really helps. So having a goal, even if it's just a little goal, can really, really help you do that. So I made a goal of contacting this lady, for example, and setting up a coaching session. Even though the doubts came down on my head like they did, I felt so great after I'd accomplished setting that up with her. I thought, yes, I did. I'm so excited to be coached by her. I'm so excited. And I will definitely let you guys know how it went. But it just made such a wonderful difference. Yes, I did it. I had problems setting up on her. I tried to do her scheduling app, and for some reason it gave me technical issues when I did it. And I finally just ended up emailing her directly. And she was so easy to work with and so quick to respond. And all the doubts and silliness that my mind caused me was so unnecessary, So just don't let that kind of stuff hold you back. When that kind of stuff comes up, and it will, just push right through it. You're strong. You can do it. You can totally do it. So use the energy of your mind, which is always going to be there running around in circles and freaking out all the time. Take that energy and turn it into a positive bent, so you can use that energy to plan and reach your goals rather than letting it keep you up at night with fears and worries and anxiety attacks like I've had. And so even though it might feel yucky in the moment, push past it and you'll be so, so happy with your results. So again, this is how the law of attraction works. You ask, you believe, you make your decisions from a happy, calm place. Don't make it from the feeling of, oh, I'm scared, or oh, I don't know, and oh, I don't have enough money, and oh, I can't afford. Don't make it from that place. Be calm, take deep breaths, think of the happiest place you can, the happiest thoughts you can. Think of yourself achieving that goal, and then make your decision. Follow through with the inspired action that you'll then have. You will have inspiration come to you on what to do next. Do that next. And then the next step is just to receive what you want. It's amazing. Simple, right? And the idea really is simple. And I always think of, I'm a big movie buff, so I love The Matrix, and a character, Morpheus, in The Matrix says, there's a big difference between knowing the path and walking the path, and I totally agree. So you can change your thoughts and beliefs, and changing those can be the hardest, or if not the hardest, the most time-consuming, because you have to really believe it in your gut to make it happen. But you can do it. And you can make decisions that lead to actions that will make your dreams come true, even if it takes some time. And the time that it takes is not because the universe or God is dragging his or her or its divine feet, okay? That's not what's happening. It's because our beliefs are blocking what we want out of fear, and we can control that. So you can overcome that fear, and once you do, look out world, right? But if you need some help overcoming your blocks or fears, go to writinginyourjammies.com/coaching and you can get a free mini session with me. And we'll figure out the solutions to finding your dreams together. All right, everybody, have a wonderful, magnificent day, week, month, and year. Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for listening to this podcast. Go to writinginyourjammies.com to sign up for my brand new Rejuvenation for Writers 6-week comprehensive program to help writers reignite their creative sparks. You're just a free mini session away from becoming the amazing author you've always wanted to become. You really can be whoever you want to be. Thanks again.